Hey everybody, welcome to episode 10 of AWAN Answers, where I, Ijaz, answer your business and startup questions. Been a super busy week so far. It's Wednesday. We've had a new financial tracking software launched into our sites. So as you can imagine, there's been a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs, and a lot of sleepless nights for me. So I've not slept properly in the last 3 or 4 nights, but it's just occupational hazard, right? Anyway, let's get straight to this show. You guys should know the format by now. For those of you that are new, you can only ask me questions here via Snapchat. So I'm going to put up my Snap code here, pause the video, screenshot this, upload it onto Snapchat so you have me as a friend, and then from there, ask me any questions you have. Alternatively, just add me Ijaz one word. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright, question number 1. How do you market your USP effectively? Good question. Now, this brings me on to a great topic, and that is having a great idea or a great USP is never enough. You need to make your business idea or proposition remarkable. You need to make people want to talk about it. Let me link over into sports, right? How many great UFC fighters are there? How many great boxers are there? Yet the mainstream public know Conor McGregor and they know Floyd Mayweather. Why? Because they're provocative, they're loud, they make people want to talk about them. You know, when you're in a bar and you're talking to people, you're like, oh, have you seen what Conor McGregor did? Oh, have you seen what Floyd Mayweather did? And it's the same for business and it's the same for brands. We talk about Apple because they're remarkable. They do things which make us want to talk about them. Look at the wireless headphones from Apple. People are talking about them. It's not the best idea in the world. There's been wireless headphones before. But what they've done is they've added a new angle onto it, which has made it remarkable. So whenever marketing your unique selling product, you need to focus on what is it that people in a bar, in a restaurant, in a social environment will talk about. Okay? And then once you've done that, like I say in many of the videos, you need to follow the standard marketing methodologies. You find where are the eyes and ears of your demographic, you find out where they live, and then you tell them about your product in a way that they can share what you're telling them with their friends and family because it's provocative, because it's interesting, because it's something so wow that makes them want to stop. Nowadays, we're spoiled for information, we're spoiled by ads, we're spoiled by choice of products. You really need to make sure yours stands out. And if you're picking an industry which is highly competitive, like clothing or fashion, or food even for that matter, you really need to make sure your product is a wow product. It makes people want to talk. So yeah, I see so many businesses making this mistake, right? They just launch this vanilla product and it has no flavor or substance to it. And it's a great product, like it works. But the problem is when they're not getting traction, they come back and say, why is no one enjoying my product? And the reason for that is you've not made it provocative, you've not made it interesting or outside of the norm, so people will consume it, but they won't want to tell people, they won't want to share it, and so you'll never get that viral growth. Right, how do you compete with established brands? Got some pictures of some vans there, cool. Look, I think if you're coming straight out of the bat trying to compete with a brand, you're a bit of an idiot. Like a big brand is a big brand for a reason. They've got a reputation, they've got a following, they've got cash, they've got ideas, they've got talent. Why would you want to compete with them on what they're good at? You need to bring a completely different angle. And that's where I come back to what we were saying earlier, okay, about being remarkable. If you're just coming out with the same normal headphones which are wireless like everybody else with the bridge over the top, you're going to struggle to compete with the likes of Beats by Dre. They're owned by Apple, they've got huge funding, they've got a mass appeal, they've got a celebrity as the figurehead. How are you going to compete? But if you were smart enough to do what Apple did with the wireless AirPods, taking the traditional headphone and making those wireless, now you've got a chance of competing. And then you're not going head to head with the likes of Beats by Dre, but you're adding a new angle. If you're just trying to make some high tops like Adidas or Nike or Jordans or whatever, you can't compete. They've got their brand, they've got everything to stay where they are. If you add a new angle and do something which they completely have not seen and cannot be replicated, you're giving people permission to walk away from those brands and try your product because you offer something unique. So it always comes down to what is unique about your product. You should ask yourself this question: why will people use my product over X, where X is your competitor brand, a big name in your industry? Let's go on to the third question. Really pushing through these quick. Right, what was your first business idea and what did you do with it? Brilliant. So, a lot of people don't know this, but I never always wanted to be an entrepreneur. But what I realized was, looking back now in hindsight, how I acted, how I was doing things were very entrepreneurial. So, no, I wasn't one of these kids that had a lemonade stand age 4 or things like that. But from 15, 16, I did start to see things which meant I was unemployable. And I actually made a video, I'll link it up here somewhere, unemployable. That's when I found out I was unemployable. And it all started when, I remember it was the summer holidays after school, and my mum said, Ijaz, go and get yourself a job. Don't just sit at home. You know, I wasn't just sitting at home. Obviously, I was always the kind to be reading and learning new things. But go and get yourself a job, right? Go and see what the real world is like, because you can't just keep studying all your life. I was like, okay, reluctantly. I went down to a local retail park with all these shops. You know, you had your Next, you had your Debenhams, you had your JD Sports, Carphone Warehouse. And I had my CV, and I'd walk around, I'd speak to the managers, I'd give my CV, charm them. And I was walking back home, and I got 2 or 3 phone calls from these places, and I didn't answer them. And looking back, the reason I didn't answer them was I didn't really want a job. I can't work for people, it just wasn't in me. But what I did do was I didn't just sit there and say I'm not going to get a job. As soon as I went home, I realized, wait, there's a smarter way to make money. Why should I work in retail at Next or at Carphone Warehouse making 40, 50 pounds a day when I can be a lot smarter about this? So I went home and I went online and I ordered myself some business cards. And on the business cards it said mathematics tutor, A-level, university level and GCSE. Now, I was fortunate enough that at school, I was a wizard at maths, right? I was getting 100% in all the exams, and so that was my USP. I wasn't a tutor that was an adult trying to teach you. I was a student like you trying to teach you. I'm just a year or 2 ahead of you. And so when I could show everybody I was getting 100% in the exact exams they were taking, they were hiring me for tuition at £20, £25 an hour, right? So on the weekends when most people were working from 9 to 5 in a retail environment, I'd wake up, spend 2 hours tutoring, that's my 50 quid, and I could do what I wanted for the rest of the day. Now, as the calls got more and more, I was using up more of my time over the weekend, and I found I didn't have enough time to study for my own university degree. So it was at that point that I realized, wait, this is not scalable. I can only tutor for, say, 10 hours on a Saturday and 10 hours on a Sunday, maximum. That's if I spend no time on myself. So what I did was, I then went and found the other smart students in my year that also did very well, you know, the 99% to the 100% students. And I also did that in different subjects, not just maths. So I found the best guy at maths, best guy at English, best guy at chemistry or girl, and I brought them together and we started a mini tutoring business. And what we do is any person that came in, I would filter them out to my friends and charge out the client, say £25, but I'd give the guy doing the tutoring or the girl doing the tutoring less, so between 15 and 20. So I was pocketing 5 to 10 an hour, doing nothing, sleeping or working on my own uni degree at the weekends. And at that point, I had no formal education in business. I didn't read any business books really, or I hadn't started a business before, but I knew time was not scalable, and I knew innately the importance of having a USP and making sure you're relatable to the people who are your clients. And these are super important traits we all need as business people, whether you're 15 years old setting out on your first business or whether you're 50 years old as a seasoned entrepreneur. You need to understand who your clientele are, you need to relate to them on a level, provide them their unique selling point, proposition, and then at the end of all that, you need to make sure you deliver for them without fail. Like, I can't explain to you the importance, especially even within that first experience I had in the tutoring business. The reason I was getting so many clients was because of the word of mouth. It's people telling other people. And again, it links up with the other 2 questions quite nicely, which we've answered so far. People tell each other about things which are remarkable. So when one of the students came to me having failed his A-levels and I tutored him and he ended up studying medicine at one of the best universities in London, he was telling people about that. And so naturally my pipeline of clients who wanted to tutor with me was more than I could cope with. And that's when I took the step to scale up. Okay, so you don't want to scale up too early. You scale up when the demand forces you to. I had a call from a young buck entrepreneur and she was asking, she had an idea which I can't share right now, but it was, the premise of it was she was thinking too much about the future and all the things that could come and bogging herself down such that she wasn't even able to start. Launch the business, find out if it's going to work, fail quickly and cheaply if you are going to fail, and then move on. Don't worry about scaling. Get your business proposition right, prove you have an audience, prove you can reach that audience for effective marketing, and for talking about your USP and making it exciting, remarkable, memorable, and then worry about scaling. When you've got the problem of so many clients knocking on your door, that's when I give you permission to worry about trying to scale up. Not when you haven't got any clients and you're sitting in your bedroom with this piece of paper that's an idea. Alright, so those are the 3 questions for this episode. That's episode 10. Sorry I can't make this a super long one. I'd love to get more questions done, but I've got to get back to my desk. So obviously, as I said, we launched this new software and literally 24 hours a day I'm sat by my emails just trying to field problems. Like I said, business is all about firefighting. It's all about waking up and seeing a challenge which you didn't expect, and your ability to put out that fire is what will define how good of an entrepreneur you are. So yeah, don't forget to add me on Snapchat, ask me your questions there for the next episode. And for those of you that still haven't checked out my episodes of my journey to $1 billion, which is my other series, obviously I'm doing this question and answer show for startups here, which is a lot more raw, but I've got a more edited sort of day in the life or video where you can watch me as I document my journey to $1 billion from my humble beginnings. So go ahead, watch the playlist, I'll link it up here, start from episode 1, and we're on episode 9 I think at the moment, so hopefully you enjoy that. It includes our trip to Chamonix and the Mont Blanc, which was the latest episode to go up, and I think you really enjoy it. Finally, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe because it really helps me out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.